quick take-home point for our article is to think about engaging our frontline clinical practice when designing new innovations and new technology for the future. When we're engaged early on, we have a much better chance of designing the new innovation to eventually meet the needs of our clinical practice when these innovations are ready to be implemented. So my name is David Rushlow, and I currently serve as department chair for the Department of Family Medicine for Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota. And the title of our article will be an upcoming portion of a thematic series titled Forward Thinking on Clinical Trials. And our portion is Building Capacity for Pragmatic Trials in Primary Care. And it will be appearing in the March 2024 issue. So our article is one of several papers in a thematic series, and our portion picks up on the concept that important innovations in healthcare begin their process of implementation really in the formation of the pragmatic trial itself. And oftentimes, when these pragmatic trials are being designed, the folks that are most impacted by them are not always included in the beginning. And so our article discusses the importance of including our frontline clinical practice in the initial design of the trial, and really, by doing so, creates information and success in the eventual implementation of this innovation if it makes it to our frontline practice in the future. So this process ultimately impacts patients, particularly in primary care, because what flows through us as primary care clinicians reaches our patients most directly, and it reaches it at a population health level. So there are, our practice is very large, and we touch millions of patients throughout the United States. And by designing innovations that have a large impact on primary care, you're designing innovations that have a large impact on the populations of patients that we serve at the front line. So by doing so, we can improve the wellness of our patients and prevent chronic disease from occurring if it can have a big impact at the primary care level. Our clinicians in primary care are really struggling. We're faced with a great deal of clerical burden, and the impact of that clerical burden is really leading to a great deal of burnout in our practice. We need to find innovations that have an impact on that, and there are a lot of promising opportunities that are available, and we very much want to be engaged in those. So one of the biggest promises to solving the burnout problem in primary care is choosing the right innovations, usually through digital and artificial intelligence technology, but also at the standpoint, we can't just be receivers of that technology. We have to be intimately involved in designing it, particularly as those nascent AI algorithms are being developed for eventual use at our frontline practice. The future for AI and digital technology is vast. When we think about the impact of predictive analysis on our patients to identify care gaps, when we think of the power of generative AI to help with clerical burden and documentation, and technology that involves wearable devices. These have huge implications on the future of healthcare for our patients. And as those innovations are engaged at the primary care level, as I mentioned earlier, they have a significant multiplying impact, exponential impact on the populations that we serve. Currently, those technologies are in their beginning formations, and much of the AI know-how has been developed. The real difficulty is making that work at a frontline practice where the workflows and the demand of that practice are already well saturated. And so there's a great deal of potential for this this new technology, but it has to be done right. It has to be designed well, and pragmatic clinical trials allow a pathway forward for that work to be eventually implemented into our practices. So to summarize our article, what we provide is a blueprint and really a plea for future researchers, regulatory bodies, and AI innovators to seek out the wisdom and the frontline know-how of primary care providers. When that's done well, these new innovations can be seamlessly integrated into our practices and have a huge impact across the populations of patients that we serve, as well as help the burgeoning overburden of our frontline practice. We have a lot to gain from this technology. The article provides that description of that blueprint, and we look forward to being able to continue to collaborate with the amazing work that's being done across Mayo Clinic and in innovators outside of Mayo Clinic.
We hope you found this presentation from the content of our website valuable. Our journal's mission is to promote the best interests of patients by advancing the knowledge and professionalism of the physician community. If you are interested in more information about us, our homepage is www.mayoclinicproceedings.org. There you'll find access to information for our social media content, such as additional videos on our YouTube channel or journal updates on Facebook. You can also follow us on Twitter. More information about healthcare at Mayo Clinic is available at www.mayoclinic.org. This video content is copyrighted by Mayo Foundation for Medical Education and Research.